It's Tachlis. It's Alyssa. And I'm live from Tel Aviv. And wow, look at my lenses. Anyway, I was on the way to the beach and I was just like, no, focus, try to get some videos done. So, here's what I want to talk about. It's the same message because it's at the base of it all. And it's just be kind to your neighbors. Now, boy, that goes a long way in the Middle East, but I want to just take it locally. So I ride my bicycle all over, and it's really great. It's just a great thing to do. And I see a lot of things. And I grew up very lawful. I grew up very lawful seeing it from my parents, and I grew up very lawful learning about it in school. And since arriving here in Tel Aviv, I have seen the lawlessness rise exponentially, like just enormous. And I'm not too sure what it is, if it's frustration or nerves, stress, anxiety. Is it making too much money? Is it not making enough money? Is it, I don't know. Is it jealousy? Is it anger? Is it a frustration? Is it a hate? What is it? Whatever it is, it's terrible. Here's the examples of things. Now, I like to make these little sort of titles. So I'm going to title this one called The World of Entitlement. And, say what you want, Jewish American princess, but I have never seen anything like this in my life. And I learned it a long time ago in America, that a Jap isn't necessarily a rich person. It's a person that just acts entitled. So I am living in the land of the entitled, and maybe it's due to the inflated ego, but it's unbelievable. Let's just talk about the bike lane. So there's this thing, there is a bike lane. It's a fantastic concept, and it really, really works to get bikers in bike lanes and pedestrians in the pedestrian lane. But when a biker is seen on the sidewalk, they get this crazy Hebrew shtuyot or nastiness. I had a guy who just was so nasty. It was in front of my door and he wouldn't let me in. I mean, come on. Who are you? You think you're the police? You're not. And it's just about causing a fight. But when you see people on a bike lane and you ask them nicely, or a family, can you move? There's an empty sidewalk. Can you move over? And they try to hit you or yell at you or scream at you, and they're in front of their kids. Don't get me started. I mean, what a horrific, disgusting example. In Hebrew, we learn this terminology as arse. I understand it in English as white trash. And they're on the rise. Yeah, they're on the rise. And so I also used to sort of be a little bit on the racist side, but I can tell you, from my point of view, I believe ours is now just this state of entitlement, which is insane here in Tel Aviv. So here's a few examples of what I see. On a constant basis, we have something called a crosswalk, which I've talked about it. So if you put your foot down in a crosswalk, the car is supposed to be slowing down when they see a crosswalk. So the minute they would see someone with their foot in the crosswalk, they would be slowing down anyway. They would be able to go to a full stop. I have seen buses plow through cars. I have seen people get hit. And I have seen cars just like, and they start to yell at me that I'm crossing the street. Instead of just saying in Hebrew, Slicha, ani mista'eret, or mista'er, I'm sorry. It's my bad. You don't see that. But I can tell you, like, the top 3 of the worst drivers here are women with baby seats, the religious, men, and people in fancy cars. Those 3 really confuse me, because you'd think someone with a beautiful car has this it's like this respect. It's like this thing about cars, and they understand, and the automobile and the beauty. And no, that just means entitlement. I have a nice car. I don't have to follow the rules. Mom with a baby seat. My God, you'd think she'd be number one to be careful on the roads. Are you kidding? I have a baby. I'm entitled. It's my road. Get out of the way. The religious men drivers, entitlement. I'm religious. I'm holy. It's my world, my road. Nothing else matters. Great. That's great. So, whew, that's just the entitlement crew. But entitlement even goes toward this, because if you are so entitled, you are better than thou. Today I saw an example of complete just stupidity. A girl in a dress, nicely dressed, in heels, no helmet, no nothing, electric bike, one-handed driving, and one hand talking on the phone, which actually there's a law, but since we are in this city of lawlessness, it doesn't really matter. She was the worst driver, and she was all over the place. She could have, who knows what she caused. I got out of her way, because I have learned how to just drive. Is it defensively, offensively? I don't know. I do it at the same time. It's just so insane. And on a daily basis, 3 to 5 times a day, I see someone driving through a stop sign, a crosswalk, without slowing down and stopping. And, you know, my biggest pet peeve of all is the ambulances. I mean, I just learned, you just wherever you hear an ambulance, you just move to the side. I don't run across the street. I don't just drive behind an ambulance and try to, get his flow. You just separate. I have stood in front of the hospital watching an ambulance fight the cars that won't move and then want to take advantage of his speed. Respect for one's neighbor. And entitlement? I don't know. Aren't we all entitled to breathe, to have freedom, and to enjoy every day in this life? Enjoy the beautiful flowers and the sun and the blooming trees and the wavy sea. But we can't when others take up more space than they really should. Because it's for everybody, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just part of my rainbow self. Ciao for now.